So you're thinking about moving to Tennessee and you want to know what some of the bad things are about actually living in Tennessee? Well, in today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 reasons why you might not want to make that move here to the great state of Tennessee. Or you may find these 10 things don't really bother you and you'll want to make that move. So stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Greg Spackman. I'm with the Living in Nashville, Tennessee channel. If you are looking to learn everything about what it's like to live here, eat here, sleep here, even play here in the Nashville or in the great state of Tennessee, then click the subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time I do new videos. I've been getting a ton of people lately that have been calling me, texting me, emailing me. I absolutely love it. So if that's you and you're looking to make that move here, reach out. I'd love to hear from you. So let's get into the video. So the number one reason you may not want to make the move here to Tennessee is our home prices and rent prices. The average home price in the state of Tennessee is just over $300,000. However, it really depends on where you want to live. Anything near the major cities, which is Memphis, Nashville, and Knoxville, you're going to pay quite a bit more than that. In the Nashville area, you're going to be in the 450 to 550 range. So really, it just depends which area you're picking to move. And that's one of the things that we definitely help you with is finding what your budget is and where you might want to move. And then we can talk about the different areas. The average rent in the state of Tennessee right now is somewhere around $1,035. So that's going to get you one of the smallest places you can. And then rent just goes up from that. Rent has been steadily climbing every year since COVID. And, you're going to be near double that if you're near the Nashville area, for example. The number two reason that you may not want to make the move to Tennessee is nightlife. So what I mean by nightlife, unless you're near Nashville or Knoxville or Memphis and you're close to those areas, you're going to have pretty poor nightlife. You may have a bar here or there or pub or something, but for the most part, you're not going to have any real nightlife unless you live near one of the big cities. If I'm wrong, comment below and let me know that where you're at, what area you're in, and that you have a great nightlife in your area. The number three thing, and this is one of the things that bothers me most about living in Tennessee. When we first moved to Tennessee back in 2013, traffic wasn't as bad as what it is now. And now it just seems like every year more and more people make that move to Tennessee, and that makes more and more traffic. You used to be able to drive 80 miles an hour on pretty much any freeway near where we moved. And now, unless you're going at off peak times, you can't really drive anywhere near the speed limit. A lot of the time, you're going to be driving 30, 40 miles an hour on the freeway where you used to be able to do, 70 like the speed limit says. Just know that depending upon where you're moving, if traffic is an issue and you're not a big fan of traffic, that we want to talk about that and we can check all that out and figure out where you're going to be working and living and actually playing and doing all that fun stuff so that we put you in the right area so we don't, pick a home in a certain area and then you're, 45 minutes when we could have moved you to a different city and then you'd be 15 minutes because of traffic. So traffic is a big issue. It's just not really being fixed by the state. They just don't seem to be upgrading the highways or upgrading roads and whatnot to make them better for everybody that likes to drive. The number four reason you might not like the state of Tennessee is our sky high sales tax. So Tennessee has a 7% state sales tax and then a max local rate of 2.75%. So you're going to get somewhere in the 9% range in most areas in Tennessee. Some will be less, but for the most part, you're going to be in the 9.5 range. Tennessee does have a flat 6.5% tax on corporate stuff, so I guess that's good and bad. Just know that if you have a business, that's what that's going to be taxed at. And then one other thing to make note is Tennessee does tax groceries. So they tax them at 4%, I believe. If I'm wrong, someone could comment below and let me know what it is, but I believe it's 4% on your groceries. The number six reason you might not like the state of Tennessee is a huge country music state. So if you're like me and you don't like country music, then, it may not be the best area for you because so many people like country. It's, the home of country. We have the Country Music Hall of Fame. all of the country music stars. A ton of them will live in the state of Tennessee. So just know that country music, some stores and shops and restaurants, you're going to hear it playing. So if it really bothers you, Tennessee may not be the best choice. However, for me, even though I don't like country, I can deal with it where I have to deal with it. For the most part, it's not really a problem at all. So that's number 6. The number 7 thing you should know about living in Tennessee that you may not like, and that's Tennessee is a very, very conservative state. I think it might be the number 1 conservative state that you should be considered moving to because it's an awesome state. So just know that around Memphis, Nashville, and Knoxville, it won't be as conservative as it will be in other areas of Tennessee. So if you are looking for that really conservative area, then the further out you go from those major cities, the more conservative it gets. The number 8 reason that you may not like living in Tennessee, and that's all the bugs and snakes that you're going to have to deal with. When we first made that move, we saw an armadillo, or at least we thought it was an armadillo that was dead alongside the road. And I swore to my kids that armadillos aren't in Tennessee. I thought they were only in Texas, but I was proven wrong because we have seen a number of them. One of my neighbors would catch them and trap them and then relocate them elsewhere out of his yard. So just know that you're going to have different bugs, snakes, creatures. Some of the bugs that you're going to see chiggers, you're going to see other ticks, you're going to see just a ton of different bugs, spiders, for instance. So one of the things that we help clients get connected with is, depending upon what area of Tennessee, we'll hook you up with a good pest control company so that you can get your yard and home sprayed for bugs. It seems to make a huge difference if you have them spray a couple times a year. Mosquitoes are an issue as well, so you can handle that a few different ways. You can use candles for outside, or there's some other, light up things, or like things you can purchase, thermocell type of things that will keep the mosquitoes and other bugs away. So just know that depending upon where you're at, you're going to have to deal with different creepy crawlers. Snakes, for instance, you need to call and have relocated. You're not supposed to kill them. But that's number 8. Number 9 thing about living in Tennessee you may not like and you should avoid would be due to the hot and humid summers. So summertime runs somewhere between June to October. Usually July and August are the 2 worst months of the year, where it's really hot, really humid. It does, sometimes it'll rain, sometimes it doesn't. But just know that it gets hot and it gets humid. So I really, really dislike the humidity. Growing up without it being humid, it's just something that's very difficult to get used to. Some people don't seem to care and are happy with everything else that Tennessee has to offer, so they're okay dealing with it for the 2 months of the year. So it just depends on you. You also need to be concerned about, or at least consider, tornadoes. They seem like they happen every so often, and there are ways that you can mitigate or protect yourself from them. So just let me know if that's something that you're interested in. There are a couple different ways you can mitigate or at least help protect yourself from the tornadoes. The good parts are we have pretty mild winters typically in Tennessee. This year seems like we had a huge cold front come through, so that's a little bit different, but that's not the usual. Typical, it's in the 30s and 40s, and then sometimes we get this fake summer that comes in the winter time where it's 80 or 90 degrees for a week. So just know that the weather part in Tennessee can be very sporadic, and you just don't know what it's going to be like. But typically we have a really nice spring and fall. They're pretty short. They seem like they're like 1 to 3 weeks long. So weather is usually good for 7 to 9 months of the year, and then you get a couple months where it's not great, whether that's in the winter time or the summertime mix. The number 10 reason you might want to avoid living in Tennessee: if you can't deal with allergies, then you definitely are going to have a problem with Tennessee, because tree and grass pollen peaks in the April through June range. The weed, aka ragweed, seems to be the most prevalent August through November. And you're going to find typically your allergies are worst in the spring and in the fall. And that's when the farmers are tilling all the fields that they have, and stuff just gets thrown up into the air. And then the trees themselves, when they bloom or whatnot, just release all the pollen in the air. So the thing that I found that works best for me is one of the Claritin pills, and then some Flonase. But I recommend that you go to an allergy center if you have them, get tested, figure out what it is that bothers you most, and how you and your doctor can, help make that more comfortable for you. It's not the end of the world for allergies. Just know, for me, typically there's maybe 3 or 4 days of the year where I don't feel like myself, and otherwise I feel fine due to allergies. So if you are still thinking about making that move here to Tennessee, please give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to talk to you about making that move here to the great state of Tennessee, whether it's in Memphis or Knoxville or Nashville. We have partner agents all over the state that can help you. We specialize in the Nashville area, but if you want to move elsewhere, we can definitely put you in contact with an excellent agent in the different areas. So until next time, I'm out.